Nailed it.
We're launching Tenor Artist Management September 1st. And it's going to be like a musician-owned, musician-managed artist management agency. We're going to offer booking and graphic design and website building, kind of goal evaluations, I guess you would call it, or mentoring. I've not so much from me because I barely know what I'm talking about, but I know some people that know a lot of what they're talking about,
right?
And that they'll be able to help some of these newer artists, especially, or people that I see when I'm out, checking out different bands and stuff now. Help them get the recognition they deserve, and maybe if they're not the best business people, we can help them run their or use their talent as a tool, as a financial tool for them. Because I mean, honest to God, if you have something that you can do very, very well, sometimes you just need somebody else to show you how to use it.
Right.
And that's kind of what we're going to try and do is, I know people that can book. I know friends of mine that are really good at booking their own shows. I know friends of mine that are really good at making their flyers and designs and all that stuff, and they don't mind doing it.
Right.
But then, I have another subset of friends that never post a single show that they're going to be at. If you try to find their calendar online, they have none. And then YouTube videos, Facebook channel, like all of that stuff, these people aren't online. And in 2024, I think you have to be online. You have to have a presence.
Regardless of your feelings about what that stuff is, as an artist or a musician, you kind of don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do it and you don't want to learn it or you don't have the time for it or whatever, it would behoove you to hire somebody that does, or somebody that does have, because it's only going to help you as an artist,
right,
get more people to hear your art, because so many bands I find just by stumbling upon them, they make it easy enough for me to find their stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you go to iTunes, you could listen to a new band every song for the rest of your life and never listen to all the music in a genre that you like.
Right.
So there's just so much out there, and you have to get it into people's ears, and that's what we're going to do, is try to promote some of these artists like Peter Stone and Shine Delphi and all these guys that, like Shine. I love Shine so much, but half the time I try to find Shine shows, I can't find them.
Because he's not.
He does it. He does it, but it's like, it's sometimes, and I know it's on his website and all that. We have a availability to get to it, but it's like if you make it where somebody has to seek out your things, it's very hard.
So there's a place for it, but the path to it is not easy.
Yeah, you got to make it really, really easy.
Oh, people have no attention span for that. If you can't find it in 2 clicks, they're not going to keep looking.
Right. So I'm excited. Like over the last 5 years, I started playing guitar in 2018. I did my first show in 2019, and then in 2021 I quit my job.
Right.
And then I was playing 200 gigs or 200 or so gigs a year, and I went from playing nothing to playing 100 gigs just by doing the same process over and over and over again for booking gigs.
Right.
And I just feel like that's something that I can share with other people and help other people out that may be struggling to get gigs, or even find out why they're not getting gigs. If I come out to a show, I want to be able to look at whoever it is and be like, be that guy that needs to give them a little bit of advice.
Right. Your
sound is muddy, or your whenever you're up there, you don't look like you're having fun. You should look like you're having fun, because other people aren't going to have fun if you're not having fun.
Right. You're the room.
You got it. Like just giving them a little bit of guidance where they need it, and I feel like and it's not just me. It's the whole team.
Right.
But like we're all industry people, and one of the big things that we bring to the table is that, like, there's a lot of artist agencies in the area that you have to go through to book at some places.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Has been that way
since
the beginning of musical time.
And every single one that I have dealt with, for the most part so far, that was an actual agent or a just a booking service or an entertainment company or whatever you want to name it.
Right.
Not a booker for a bar, because sometimes bookers at bar, like you said, it's staff at the bar.
They're not a company.
Right.
That's not their sole job.
You got it. Every company that I've ran into that has some of these venues pigeonholed, they capitalize on the artist. They use these predatory contracts to lock them in.
You've spoken a couple times in your podcast, and I think we even talked outside of that about that ridiculous contract with the last page owning your soul or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's stupid. I saw some of those back in the day when I wasn't even in a position to sign one. I saw some of my friends had to sign, and I hadn't ever sang a song yet in my life. This was just me going out, hanging out with bands and learning the ropes.
Right.
And I read, they're like, hey, check this out. There's a contract. I don't know what half of this means. I wouldn't sign this.
Right.
You know, it was obvious to me 25 years ago, and it sounds like those practices, no matter how much the industry's changed, have not changed.
They haven't. And I mean, like some of the contracts, a standard fee for these guys right now is 20%. 20% of your money from your gig is going to go into somebody's pocket for saying that you could have that gig. And they're going to do nothing else for you.
I've dealt with that in the past. We dealt with a booking guy who,
right,
to his credit, did get us in a lot of places, and he was a 10% guy, and we were, at the time, I was happy to pay that.
Yeah.
And he did a little bit of promotional, but that was pre-social. You know, that wasn't as easy to spread the word.
Oh, right, yeah.
But that was, you know, we're still giving up some week. At the time, I was like, I don't want to do it. I could do it.
Right.
The third party of it. But that was a guy who was in a successful band saying, I think I can help you guys. That was not – I talked to one booking agency after I read my friend's contract years ago, and I was like, I don't think there's – of the five of us, I don't think any of us are going to sign this, and we never did.
Yeah, 20% for a bar gig, and then there's one in the area that takes like anywhere between 30 and 40% of private gigs. Private gigs. Why are you touching the private gigs? And then they lock you into that, and I almost got sucked into that, right? And whenever I saw it, and I saw that I could do something different, and not so much offer like a cheaper service, right? But offer something that's more value added.
Better value.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to pay me 20%. Most of the time, you're going to pay me 10% or less. And because I'm not going to make my, entire income off of the backs of artists. I'm going to do it off of what I'm providing to them.
Right.
Which I think 10% of a gig, I'm going to do, Facebook posts. I'm going to do all the graphics for the thing. I'm going to do the event. I'm going to add it to your Bands in Town account. Like, I'm going to do all that legwork for you, so you don't have to.
You're working for your percentage. You're not just calling somebody and saying, here's a date.
You got it. Because it's not... And I'm going to offer that service to, the artists and to the venues. Because one thing the venues are going to get, because that's my first thing, right? So I have like 40 artists right now that are going to be on the roster, which is nuts. Yeah, we're a week away from launch. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even know what we're going to do. It's going to be ridiculous. But what I'm going to be doing on September 1st, September 3rd, after Labor Day, right, is pounding the streets, going to venues. I have 1,000 flyers that are Tenor. They have all the logos and all the information that they need to understand what we have to offer the venues. Because the venues, they'll never have to worry about double bookings again. They're not going to have to worry about artists that don't meet a certain threshold. They're not going to have to worry about no advertising and everything's going to be done for them. So it's not really going to be a large cost to them either. So they're going to get all of this value added service. And what I really want to do the most is provide, like, the artists that work with me know that they're going to get professional venues to play at. The venues that book with me know they're going to get professional artists that perform there. I want them to know that, like, there's a high quality that comes with what we do.
Well, that's actually pretty sorely needed around here. It has been for a long time. I mean, not just specifically here, although chiefly that's what you're going to deal with because that's your area that and you're close to. But I mean, I think that's probably. I think we could pick this conversation up and dump it in the middle of Illinois and probably find the same issues with places.
Right.
So. I think just from listening along with, as you've been just getting more information out here on socials and on your podcast and stuff, I think this is awesome. I wish there was somebody like you doing this when I started.
That's really cool, man.
My entire music career might be in a different place if I was better coached. Let's say coached is a bad word. It's a word they don't use anymore. And it sounds predatory.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't just my Catholic priest coaching me. No,
right.
But if I had better access to information and people's knowledge, because 20 years ago it was cutthroat.
Would you have been receptive to like guidance and advice at that age, you think?
I would have been more receptive to it than some people. I think I mean, obviously I'm hindsight. Absolutely.
Right.
At 21 when I was shit-faced drunk on Jaeger, I would have taken any advice. No, obviously I would not have done that. But I mean, it took me a couple years to listen to my own bandmates and get voice lessons. But that was because back then it didn't matter if you were a drunken mess. As long as the party was going, the bars were full, no one cared.
No.
There was no reasoning for me at the beginning to further that because I didn't need to. Right. But when it started to get a little thinner and we wanted to play bigger places and we thought we were better than we were, the crowds are making us feel better. There would have been a use for someone to say, "Hey, wait a minute. Let me give you some advice, or maybe I can talk to this place." Like, we didn't have any of that. We had to do everything ourselves because at the back of then there was about 3 media companies that you could really talk to, and none of them were talking to local bar bands and how many many bars we packed.
Right.
I think the crowd now, and I'm going to use Jake as the example because he's the one sitting here in his 20s. I don't think, and although I've said on air and off to anybody to listen, Jake is a special case when it comes to musicians around here. He don't act like you're not. He's shaking his head here, folks. He's not. He has a soul of an older musician, I think, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
He likes things in a much older vein. He looks at things different than I've seen, where there are guys his age in that musicians group that they're hungry for it, but they're not what I was at 25.
I got you.
They have a different. They have access to social and. Anything they need to learn is the fingertip. There are things we didn't have,
right?
But it also changes the mentality, the drive of them. You don't see when I started. It was you were either an original band or you're in a cover band, and if you were an original band, you had to talk shit on cover bands. That was the job. Cover bands were why are you doing covers? Because I like to entertain people and get paid. Enjoy your original music, sir.
Right.
That's. I mean, I took that to heart for years. I took that really hard. Like, well, I guess I'm not a legit person because. They're right. I'm not. I'm doing other people's songs.
Isn't that weird? I've had that since I started because I've been pretty much been doing covers, and it's just this common thing where it's like we're less than somehow.
But if you'll know, and you may not have noticed, or maybe you have in the short time you've been doing it, it's mostly guys that get up into our age range that have been doing it a long time.
That hate a little bit.
I've never seen some 25-year-old all original musician. I've never had somebody come to me and go, "Oh man, you suck because you played that song." They come and go, "Dude, I love that song. My dad used to listen," or whatever. They're a different breed. I very rarely ever hear that musician versus original argument anymore. It's usually some troll on the internet.
Yeah.
But it's always somebody who is probably 40 or older.
Right.
That couldn't make it as an original musician. And they're like, "Oh, you assholes out playing 3 hours a night playing other people's songs." I do this to entertain people.
Sure, yeah.
And that's how you entertain people. Do I slip in? Sure. I played my one and only original song. I played it last night.
Yeah.
Or, what's today? Thursday? 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago.
I threw it into my original sets. I don't play with any other bands. I don't ever play except when I'm solo. We could probably make a full song out of it again. It's a 20-some-year-old song. I throw it in towards the end. I'm like,
sure.
I'm going to play this, and now here's, Can't You See? Because I'm going to close this chat with something you guys can sing along to. I'm not going to leave you with my song in your memory. I'm not that guy.
Do you tell them it's your song every time?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I usually say I'm going to play one of my own. Sometimes I give them the story. Sometimes I just give them that same thing I just said. I wrote this 20 years ago. I didn't even write the music to it. I'm just playing a version of it, and I play it, and everybody always seems pretty receptive. There's a couple people, of course, my wife, other people that know the song, but I never leave them on that.
I got you.
You know what I mean? I will always play one of the songs I know I close with, and I have a pretty short list. These days, it's either Marshall Tucker Band or almost always it's Outfield.
Yeah.
Because
I was figuring it was Outfield.
No matter how sick I am or how down I am or how good my voice is. It doesn't matter what. I can sing that song every time.
Do you have delay when you play duo?
I don't use any effects vocally, or I just started using them on my guitar. Like, I don't use any vocal. I have the vocal effects built in. I just can't get them right, so I turn them off. Because as soon as I try something, I've had it wig out at a show where a setting didn't stay, and it started sounding like it was giving me like the 17 octaves below my voice, doubling, and I'm like, it's supposed to be a harmony. What is happening? And when we play in Ghostlight, our sound guy Scott is a professional, works for Claire Brothers, professional, and he's our sound guy. And Scott will not have it.
Wow.
The last time I tried to use it, he's like, "Here's a splitter. I need a drive signal from your mic because I don't care what you want in your ears." And he's like, "I can't." He's one of those guys, and I've had sound guys years ago when I tried. You'd use them too, like, but I had some of the older like Digitech vocal pedals that were just they were very electronic. Like, and sound guys were like, as soon as you step on that to make your effect, none of the gains are right. And I think I got scared off them. I need to use it more, at least in my solo gigs, because no one's going to tell you but me.
Right.
I need to get better at that because there are stuff like with choruses and stuff. I should have that. I should have that stuff going on, but I also don't have anybody. Boy, it'd be nice if Dave Gates was sitting down there going, "It's working. It's not working." Or afterwards, hey, you know what you ought to do with that?
Right.
Like, and to your credit with this, there isn't people doing that.
No, and it's because people are afraid of hurting other people's feelings,
or they come off as a dick.
Without trying to be a dick at all.
Right. So, but if the preface is that people know that you're trying to be constructive and not be an asshole,
right? I'm not going to give constructive criticism to people who don't want it. You know what I mean? So whenever somebody comes to me, I want them to understand that I'm going to do everything in my absolute power to make them look and sound and function as well as they possibly can.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes that's going to be going, hey, don't do Facebook Lives in the evening after you've had dinner.
Right.
Because it dries your voice out and you sound like shit. You know what I mean? Or like if there's something, there's these small things that happen, because I've had it happen to me a million times.
It's a positive negative, if that makes sense.
It absolutely is.
There's something negative happen to them. You're giving the positive way to fix it. You're not just saying, that sucked.
Right.
Hey, you sucked. Here's your money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a negative.
Yeah. And I'm also not going to tell them that it's shitty or that they suck, or I'm not going to use any of those terms, but it's just being real with somebody and being like, hey, like what happened last night? What was that?
You could walk up to and go, hey, were you having an off night? Something wasn't right. You're not going to say, that was the worst thing I've ever heard. Please don't ever play again.
Right.
But there are literally people that would say that. Well, I think you even brought that up
earlier tonight, whenever the lady was like, "Hey, you're sick."
Well,
yeah.
Are you sick?
you brought up one of your episodes with Tommy B.
Oh yeah.
Talking about his dad.
Yeah. Woo.
That got me a little fired up hearing that story. And I've never met Tommy, but just hearing him on that, he seems like the nicest.
Oh, Tommy's one
dude
of the
on
sweetest
earth.
People ever.
And it sounds like his dad is not the nicest person.
He is
on earth.
not. He is not. Which
and
is probably why Tommy's so nice.
He didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Someone had to offset.
Which I think it's his stepdad too. I think the guy that was there was his stepdad. It's just
that a story like that. And Jake, I don't know if you heard that or not, but roundabout was mostly, like, if I remember right, mostly telling Dave, "Hey, when are you getting off so Tommy can go on?"
Well, he was just basically, he kept coming up and going. When it was at the end of the night was the worst part, because he was like, "You're good," like pointing at me, but then he pointed at Tommy and be like, "But he is great."
I do remember it.
And I'm like, oh my God, you said that like 11 times, dude. I fucking swear to God.
Yeah, stop.
Like, just calm down. Yeah, you're right. He is a musical god. Yeah. I am in awe of his musical nature. Like, I don't know what you want me to do right now.
What do I have to say here to get you to stop talking?
Yeah, good Lord.
I've had guys that get at the end of the night talkers that think they're being constructive and they're just being drunk and shitty.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had to kind of deflate some issues over the years with guys like that talking to one of my bandmates back in the day. Of course, back then we all drank too. We did all the wrong things, but like you're always starting an argument because you're telling somebody they were playing something wrong, or that you know what I would have done. I'm like, man, have you ever even picked up an instrument in your life? Like, there's just people that are always going to be that way, and they're not being helpful. Right. But to have somebody in the industry who has been as successful as you have because you pushed yourself so quickly too, which I think you've also said some people kind of get shitty with you about that, like, oh yeah, well, why'd you get so big so fast or whatever?
Yeah,
because you don't care, and you did.
Right.
They don't. Again, they've been playing for 20 years and can't figure out why they're not bigger, and you've been playing for 5, and all of a sudden you're playing 200 shows a year, and they don't understand, and then they get filled with hate over it. Like,
yeah, and
that's their issue, not yours.
Understandable. I mean, I get it, and I mean, I definitely should say I probably won't I won't do all the negative stuff. I'm going to do positive stuff too, of course.
I think that's what really, the more you've been talking about this, the more that excites me about the idea of what you can do for the community.
Right.
And you've already been kind of doing that with your podcast, and I don't know if that has ever like come across your thoughts or not, but you've almost been doing that by interviewing all these people. Once you started doing interviews and started interviewing all these local guys, that some guys I'd never heard of or only heard of because I saw their book somewhere. Most of the guys you've had on your show, I did not know of, other than maybe you mentioning them, or
awesome.
Someone, or again seeing them on a flyer or a post for some place. I don't know that I would have necessarily gone out of my way, not for a bad way, to see Matt at all.
Oh yeah.
If you had not talked about him, and to some degree Rachel, obviously.
Right.
But then I met him at the awards. And I'm like, this guy's everything the both of you said he is.
Yes.
And then he and I talked for a long time there that night. And the first opportunity I got, and I've only ever seen him for about 20 minutes at the Falls Hotel because it's close and I was able to go. Obviously, you play the weekends, he plays the weekends, I play the weekend. I don't have time to see anyone anymore. Yeah. And it was what I saw, the end of his show at that place, just a one-off place that even he says isn't because none of us booked that because it's the best paying gig.
No.
It's fun. It's good networking. They're very nice to you. He just had everybody on a Tuesday night for the 20 minutes I was there having a great time. Like, this is everything that I heard. But I would have never known anything about Matt had I not heard him on your podcast or heard you talk about him. And the same with, I've heard of Tommy, never saw him. I started watching videos. Like, I want to be able to get out and see some of these people because I really, really enjoyed hearing Derek Henry's story.
Yeah.
I've known of Derek, like many people, for I don't know how long Observe been playing now. I mean, it feels like forever. As long as I
does.
And I was so shocked to find out what a different, like almost an introverted person he kind of is when he's not on that stage with that band.
Yeah.
Like, and from what you were saying, even his solo gigs, he is very like laid back. He's not the same guy.
Yeah, he tries to. You know what Derek does? He tries to like blend into the wall at his solo gigs.
But you get him up on stage to Observe, and he's doing
And he's
backflips while
spinning
throwing
and
his
flipping
guitar,
and-
somehow playing his guitar when he's not touching it, and the notes that boy can hit, like
unreal.
And that's not something. That's another thing. How would anybody out there know, whether it's a venue or whatever, know about the strength of these people if without somebody to tell them?
You got it.
And I know
somebody that looks professional and somebody that comes to them with a website and research and here's my artist roster. Here's why you should book them. Here's all the reasons why you should book them.
And I can see you being that person walking in. Here's my artist roster. Here's the 20 people that should play your venue.
You got it.
Not all of my people are for you, but I know these guys are.
100%.
Whereas I feel like a lot of your entertainment companies, or what do you want to call them,
they're just
like,
looking at names and signing checks.
Yeah, any one of these bands would be fine. Which one would you like to book? Where we want to sign them? We're gonna lock them in for a year. You can't book anybody else.
You got it.
That's another thing I don't like, and that doesn't necessarily mean places shouldn't have I don't want to say a locked in, but a steady booking schedule with a booking agent and their artists.
Sure.
But I don't like, and I'll say it out loud, I don't like that Club XL is Stranglehold by John Harris.
Yeah.
You cannot get your foot in that door unless you know him or somebody in that bar. And if he doesn't like what you're doing, you don't get the time of day. It doesn't matter.
Which is crazy because John's been in the scene for forever.
I've had bad experiences talking to John where he basically, in the nicest, most business way, told me to go fuck myself.
Was that at Tubby's back in the day? Or
No, that was thankfully I didn't have to deal with Tubby's when we booked it. That was all our bass player Brian at the time. But that was trying to get an XL, and he basically said, I don't like what you guys play, so no one else will.
I had a similar experience where I was toying with an idea. This was a funny idea. I think you remember this. I was toying with this spoof band, but kind of a fun idea of doing a Metal Monkeys tribute band. Just because
I like it.
Because I like gimmicky bands, and I was like, this is fun. And
people like gimmicky bands. That's the thing. People like that stuff.
Yeah, and just because of the music I listen to, I love the Monkeys. A lot of their music translates really well to hard rock and metal.
Hard riffs on "Hey Hey, We're the Monkeys."
Yeah,
like 100%. I'm hearing it.
Yeah, and
I hear blast beats right now.
And I had made a post online basically saying like, "Hey, I had this idea. Would anybody be into that?" And one of the first comments I got was from John. He's like, "Only old people would like that. Absolutely not."
He wasn't asking him to book him anywhere. He was asking an opinion. And
yeah.
That's what a man who's in charge of a professional booking agency or runs his own company for, 30, 40 years, how long has he been doing?
Yeah.
That's how he responds to people.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's unprofessional. You can say you don't want something. You can say, no, you're not what the club's looking for. But to flat out say, I don't like it, so no one else will. I have those emails. I never let them go. I'm like, somebody ever doubts me, I can show them. I mean, I'm probably paraphrasing a little because it's been a year since I looked at him, but that's what he said.
I feel like it's probably what he said. It looked like you had a lot of conviction in your face when you were saying it.
And
I couldn't believe it.
No,
that's ridiculous. That's how he responded. All you got to do is say no.
Yeah, there's been other moments where, like, back when I was in Light the Lamp, I had reached out to XL about, us getting in there with shows that, like, we were seeing Black Flag was going to be playing there, and, like, some of these other, like, hardcore punk bands, and the band is a hockey punk band, and they were like, no, like, this isn't what we're looking for. But then fast forward to, like, later that December when we did play there because a band brought us with them, and the whole crowd was singing along.
That's the thing. And I brought that.
Maybe a little out of touch.
That's the thing. That's what I really feel it's an age and out of touch thing, too. There's not.
I mean, are they filling that place every week? Because I can tell you one thing.
I don't think so.
I don't know. And
beautiful venue.
I don't have
great
any,
venue.
I don't have any interaction with John Harris at all. But what I did see the other week that surprised me was there was a Chicago tribute band at XL, and one of my friends was there, and she was recording the like dance floors completely empty.
Oh yeah.
When they finished playing. There was almost no noise, so I think that might be the music that old people like.
But there you go.
Yeah.
And I understand the business thinking of looking at if you use it. We're going to use XL as the example because that's a great club. It really is.
Absolutely, I love that venue.
And if you grab any schedule for them for a month and you look at it, there's a business model they're trying to follow. But as your point was right there, it doesn't always work. You're not always going to get that crowd there just because you book something from out of town that might be big somewhere else, especially with tribute bands. I think you even discussed this on your podcast a little bit. Tribute bands, I'm in one. I get it, and we only play twice a year or something. But and everybody asks, why are you doing that band? Because we want to.
Because you want to.
Yeah, not because I think I need to do a Zeppelin band. I'm doing Breaking Benjamin because someone asked us to do it for fun, and I enjoy it.
Right.
Not because they're not playing anymore. I don't give a shit about that. They're not playing here.
Right.
But there's your Chicago's a good example that obviously didn't work. Bands like that have this huge catalog that's so well known. I might go check out a Boston tribute somewhere.
Sure.
Not a big Boston fan, but I know all their hits. I know.
Right.
It might be worth checking out. Is that band good? But then you got the weird flip side, like our friend Ed, Ed Allison, recently did a Creed tribute, which he was dynamite at just as a one-off for Love Drives.
I heard about that.
And now apparently he's turning into a Creed/Nickelback tribute.
What?
Do you know why?
Yes.
Probably because they just want to have fun with it and they'll sell tickets.
Oh yeah.
Because people like the gimmick of it.
Yep.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you can't place your whole business model on that and then tell local artists they can't show up because that's not what people want to hear.
That's kind of messed up. Yeah.
And I think that's an example of the old school booking stuff.
Sure.
That just doesn't work. But this is a guy that people probably hinge on his words still.
Oh yeah. Well, he has so much time in the scene.
I'm not saying he doesn't have valuable information to give.
Sure.
But it feels like maybe he's, again, like you said, out of touch. I like the idea that you are someone who's still in the scene.
Yeah, I hear people and I see people playing, and I see I see who's online and who's kind of promoting themselves and who has good good videos that I could check out. And there's a lot in our area that have such incredible talent. I mean, I'm sure everybody says that though. It's not just here.
I don't.
But it's.
I gotta be honest with you. I think it is a lot more concentrated in the central PA, and then radiating outwards from that than a lot of places I've talked to or been around.
Really?
I've played some different places now over the years where they're like, we just don't really have a music scene here. Every band that comes in here is from out of town. I'm like, well, that's
well,
or every band around here plays country.
Oh yeah.
We got that. Ghostlight gets it a lot. We played the beach. We did, granted, we're around there as a 4-piece at the time. We're playing places at. You ever play Hammerheads?
Yes.
Dockside?
Yeah.
Great place. We got down there and the bar's like, can you guys play here every month? We're like, what? Like, every band that comes in here is usually a duo or a single guy playing reggae music all day. It's the same stuff all the time. And you guys are like playing top 4. I'm like, we're just playing what we play.
Right.
I get that. You get new faces, and the beach is a bad example because everybody there is a new face, except during the week, maybe. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think my sister lives up in southern New York State and kind of in the boonies, and there's a lot of country up there. But every time we go to see the band, it's either it's usually a cover band doing like, I don't know, your 2000s new metalish kind of stuff or 90s, or it's someone doing country stuff.
Huh. That's
their market.
That's the demographic.
That's not here.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much different music.
There's a lot of different
in an area that we're not Philadelphia, we're not New York City, we're not LA,
right.
We're not Detroit, we're not these big cities that breed all these different kinds of music. We're Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and outward, let's say.
Right.
And there's all these different genres of talented musicians.
You know what I like the most about our area is it's the cost of living isn't crazy, right?
No.
And we're
relative to
what
it is.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Right. I mean, it's crazy everywhere, but it's not as
$100 for groceries. Look, I got 2 tomatoes and a piece of bacon.
God, right? Yeah.
I can eat today.
Yeah, one's organic. But what I like is I'm 2.5 hours, 3 hours from everything that I can play.
Yep.
And that's we have such an easy way to get around here with 81. After being in all the other states that are close to us, nothing seems to be as easy.
It's pretty connected. 81.
Delaware's all right. It's until you get to the beach.
Yeah, 81, 83. You got just even through York and Dauphin counties and stuff, like you can get everywhere on some connected highways. The 81's big because that gets you west and north, and then you can, they say it's south, but I guess it's still kind of, you know what I mean? You can go all the way down into Hagerstown that way. You know what I mean? You can get all across the state, Route 30 or the Turnpike. You're right. There's a lot of access depending on how far you want to go.
Right.
There's a ton of access to get places. I mean, that's a question too. I think you've talked about it in the past that you used to, but you don't go up north that much anymore, do you?
Not as much as I used to.
I heard you say you played in like Sunbury and some other places like that. But.
Yeah, I'm going back next year. So whenever we moved to Hanover 2 years ago,
you cut it back because it was a travel.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna find places in Maryland to play, and like Matt Jameson and I hopped in a car, and we drove around Maryland to like 40 different venues, and we handed out business cards, and then I filled my calendar with places in Maryland. And now that we're living back up in Duncannon because we got a house up there,
right?
I'm moving all my gigs back up here, so I got a hold of places, all the places up north. Yeah,
it's that map you put on Facebook when you're searching Marketplace. 10 miles from my dot.
You got it. I have that radius, and even like in my artist fee schedule. So for the artists that I'm representing, I'm sending them paperwork and be like, okay, how much for you to play a gig that's less than 10 miles from your house? How much for you to play one that's like 20 to 30 miles away?
Genius.
How much for you to play 40 miles or 50 miles? Because those prices to me as an artist are different.
They have to be.
Yeah, if I can play right down the street from my house for $200, or I can drive 70 miles to play for $350, I'm going to play close to my house.
Well, yeah, and that's the Falls for me.
Yep.
Talking about the Falls Hotel again. It's 13 minutes from where we're sitting right now.
Right.
Why wouldn't I go do that on Tuesday night for less than I make on a Saturday or Friday?
Yep.
Because it's 2 hours right up the road.
And if it's a cool venue.
Yep. They're cool people.
Why not?
And if I want to be home, I play till 8, and if I want to be home by 9, packed up and home by 9, I can be packed up and home by 9.
That sounds incredible.
The only other places I play, we just talked about this, is literally Northeast Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
When we play the Wellwood, it is a 5-minute drive back to Craft Day, back to my camper. That is the closest show I'll ever play in my life.
That's awesome.
Because if I really wanted to, I could walk back to that if I felt like taking a 5-mile walk or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's but I mean you're right. The proximity to where your home is, your home base. I absolutely think there should be a scale to that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's universally thought about.
And it doesn't even have to be, but I give the artists the opportunity to tell me, because I don't want them to be like, oh, well, this is my hourly rate, so I'm passing on all these gigs that they could actually be taking if they wanted to, if they would be fine with it.
They say they only make X dollars
You
for
got
X
it.
time.
So that's why I'm like, we'll see if it's, and some of the people send the papers back, and it's the same number in every line, and that's perfectly fine. I know that.
But they're either giving up possibilities,
right,
or maybe adding to a different.
They'll be on a different level. And to be honest with you, the people that are writing the same amount in at every line are people that I feel probably could command this amount of money. You know what I mean? And
right.
if they come back with something like, there's some people that have reached out that They'll be like, all right, my duo won't play for less than $150. And I'm like, did you say $150?
Or did you mean 150,000?
Yeah,
please.
exactly. yeah. Like, where are we?
Did you mean 1,500, not 150?
Yes. Did you leave a zero off?
Yeah.
Like, how did this? Because, and some of the people that have said that are at that spot where that's probably what they should be asking. Right. They don't have a media presence. They don't have this. They don't have that. So they don't have anything for people to even look up.
From somewhere up.
You got it. It's just a different level. They're not they're not a worse musician. It's just they're not at the level to be able to. Because if you're asking for $100, $125 an hour or so or whatever, if you're asking for that, you need to be at a certain level where I can go to the bar and be like,
this is definitely worth it.
Yes, they have. We're going to pay them this because they're going to bring people because they have 3,000 Facebook followers or something, or they have, this website set up and they're very active on YouTube or whatever. Like they should have some reason to command that amount of money, and then it's an easy sell to the bar.
Right.
So and that's kind of finding out, like getting that fee schedule to the artists and finding that out from them is just like another tool for me to be like knowing what to do.
And I would say it sounds like that sounds like it was probably a big step to getting you where you need to be for them by knowing what they want.
Yes.
Like, which is I don't think anyone ever in any time I ever talked to anybody about booking, that was outside of our band, I don't think anybody ever asked that.
No.
We were told what the bar was willing to pay. Would we play for that?
Yeah.
We were never asked what we should.
And that might even be the instant. Like that might be what happens. But what I like is like Colin Alvarez, man. So Colin Alvarez was like the first. Well, I guess between him and Matt, they were like the first artists added to this.
Right.
And
was Colin part of it?
No.
Who was
Kevin?
Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin and you and
Steph is the administrator. Yeah,
I remember seeing Kevin. Yeah, I thought there was somebody else on your. Oh, don't worry, I was creeping the website.
That's okay.
The day you put it up, I'm like.
That's all right. Yeah.
Kevin makes sense. Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin gives you an avenue to some technical stuff alone.
You got it.
That none of us are anywhere near as good as him.
I have no clue what I'm doing or what he's doing half the time.
Yeah,
but
he does, and that's helpful.
But no, I mean, what I wanted to do was get that information and then use that in so I could negotiate for the artist, because the band is probably going to get an offer from a bar. Like if I go to a bar and they reach out, sometimes they'll reach out and tell me what they pay.
Right.
But that rarely happens. Even for me personally.
No, because they're hoping you give them a smaller number than what they pay. Yeah,
so,
it's a business.
Yeah, so like Colin's he tells me the other day what he charges per hour. So I see what he charges per hour. I add $100 to that. And this is across the board. I've done this for myself for forever, and it works every time.
Right.
I add $100 to what he's asking for, knowing that if they talk me down to the number that he's at, that's fine.
He's still happy.
You got it.
He's
still going to be happy.
For.
But if they come through and they're like, yes to that, number one, if they come through and they're yes to that without any negotiation next time.
They were always yes to that.
They were always going to be yes to that, no matter what that number was.
Yep.
So that number should have been higher probably. If they come back and they're like, that's a little bit outside of our budget, then I go in and say, well, this is the reasons why they charge that much. I understand if it's a little bit above the budget, but this is they bring this big production of sound, and this is their set list, and they'll have people dancing all night. You know what I mean? Like, give them the reasons why.
I want to ask you that. That's a side thing too. I've been meaning to ask you this probably for a year now. You are big on making sure your set list is available.
Sure.
And I never even thought of that. I've never done that in any of my bands, had an accessible set list to the fans. And maybe it's because, at least with my solo gigs, I'm not looking for them to come in with this, hey, you said it's on your list and you can play them. Like, I played it once for somebody, so I put it on the list. But like with the full band, I always feel like they know what they're getting, or if they're new, they're going to see what they're getting.
Sure.
I never thought about the fact, because at least with Ghostlight, there's a list of songs, there's stuff we've dumped since I started only, and the band's been around for 11 years. I've only been there 3. There's stuff Jake would never know because he just joined the band. I feel like that list isn't all encompassing, even though there's stuff we did. Because what if someone comes and says, "Can you play Bon Jovi tonight?" I'm like, they just did it to you. I'm like, we have played it. We haven't played it in a while. if it was just me and Jake, we're going to try it.
Sure.
But my guys are not on the fly.
You know what's really good about that, though? Like, the reason why the song list is there is not for people to come up and request
Not
stuff.
ammunition.
Most of the time for me, what that is when people go to my website, whenever a venue says, hey, Dave Gates is going to be coming here, and they're like, who the hell's Dave Gates? They go to my website. They can see what I play. They just have a list of things that I could possibly play that night. You know what I mean? So that way they know, oh, well, actually, because if you guys as a band, right, if you put that up online, if they were there, they were like, oh, I love this song. I love this song. I love this. Maybe they'll play one of them tonight. You can have 50 songs up there. We play these sometimes.
Right.
You know, and it's just something for the people that don't know who you are to be like, all right, I could get into that.
Well, to be fair, our website needs a overhaul. It hasn't been touched since before I was in the band. So, there's things that
I know a web designer.
Yeah, there's some things that need to be touched up. I think just because we play so much now.
Yeah.
That I just haven't found the time to, and turns out I might know a guy. I might know some people, but that's just been a question. The fact you brought up about the set list or.
Now, Colin takes it to a different level, man. Colin, you can put a song in on a form on his website, and it sends a text message to his phone with the request.
While he's on stage.
I
think that's how, that I see that a lot. I saw that a lot in Nashville, my couple trips to Nashville. I don't know if I ever told you, Jake, I went to Nashville.
Yeah.
Didn't shut up about it for weeks. It's a year ago. I'm still talking about it. I noticed with the Venmo stuff, when they're doing Venmo tips, that it shows up. People put in, I want to hear Highwayman. Here's $30, and then they'll see it on their phone because they all have their phones in front of them. That's one thing that got me over my having problem with having my iPad. I'm like, God, those guys make a living with their iPad. I don't give a damn what that
good
guy.
Living.
The guy in the back says, "Oh, what? You can't learn the songs?"
Nope.
They're right here. I can play them. I don't need to learn them.
I think that's what Y2 Kids does.
With their karaoke thing and stuff.
No, just as a band. I've only ever seen them play one time, but
so this is definitely true.
Definitely, maybe.
Well, I noticed.
Well, it is another Red Allison project, so there's a good chance he's taking advantage of something like this.
I've noticed it when I saw them that they had flyers out with like a QR code that led them to a Venmo.
Oh yes,
and on it was like a price chart that said if you want to request a song, it's this much. If you want priority request, it's this much. If you want us to stop playing mid-song and play your song, it's this much.
Yes.
Oh, like skipping on the touch tunes.
Basically.
Well, they also occasionally do live karaoke.
Yeah.
Nights, which the only band I've ever seen do that with great success that I was there was Emily's Toy Box 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Because that band can play something of everything. And people don't care.
And the longest DG medley ever.
But they did that at one of the casinos, I think Bethlehem. They did that every Monday night for like 2 years or for summers.
Oh,
yeah.
They had to go up there every Monday night.
That's so good for you as a band. Like, you get tight on stuff whenever you're doing it that often at the same place.
Those guys are exceptionally still doing it after. They got to be pushing 30 years now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Toy Box started in the mid '90s.
Mike's voice is wild.
He has a weird uniqueness to him. He doesn't speak like that.
No,
I've
not at
sat
all.
down and had conversations like this with him so many times in the bar, just talking about business, and he's like super cool dude, super great guy. Which I didn't. My original impression of them was not that. I was like, this guy's a clown.
Right.
I don't like this funny jokes. I was going into bars for the first time, really. I was just getting a band. I'm like, we're trying to be serious about, we're covering these songs. We're trying to make sure we're doing right.
We're serious cover musicians.
This guy's up here talking about his dick smells like chapstick, and I don't understand this. And it took me a while to understand, like that, start having fun with it. And then when I had conversations, you want to talk about somebody who knows this business?
Holy smart.
Shit.
Yeah.
But he is not the guy he's on stage. He's not that guy at all. He definitely has a stage persona, that froggy voice of his. He has honed that for 30 years. And it's so unique because he can sing some shit, but then he just also sings some shit like Kermit the Frog. Yes. It feels like it.
Yeah.
And he's just doing it because that's the way he's going to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or he plays 2/3 of a song. He's like, I don't know it. Or somebody will yell at a song and Mike will start playing. The band has to figure out how to follow it. I've seen it happen. Like, we don't play this song. But Mike knows he knows the chorus and part of the verse, so we're going to play it. And they do. And no one in the bar cares. That's that party, that ultra party band atmosphere is a weird thing that you can get away with stuff like, even like Y2 Kids is doing. Emily's Toy Box could make a extra fortune doing something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Scan that and tell us to play a song. We'll play it.
yeah.
I mean, but those guys are also all in their 50s now, and they're mostly, and I don't think they're worried about doing
Probably
the electronics of it.
Yeah. All
That's
them
genius,
electronics.
Though. I think I've gotten 2 Venmo tips my entire time out solo.
Yeah.
Because I don't push it. I'm very weird with my tip jar. And I don't know if that's something artists should promote more. I have it out there for people to see. I usually, and Jake's seen, I use the same tip jar for all the bands.
What does it look like?
Oh, it's just the old, like the plastic Tootsie Roll fishbowl. But I have our stickers all over it. But I have a business card holder that holds 4 cards screwed to the front of it. I put our band stickers, which I give away. For Ghostlight, I make like 4 or 5 stickers of different designs. I like to steal pop culture reference. I have a Ninja Turtles one right now. It says Ghostlight. Things like that. The Endless Summer sticker we have. Like, I give those out. That's at a cost that I incur. I usually keep some of the tips. The guys are like, keep that towards. I don't have a spreadsheet going, well, I made my money back.
Yeah.
Sometimes if we get, like this past weekend, we had 2 gigs. I left it, and it was enough for everybody to get like an extra $10. I'm like, I'm splitting this, so I'm not keeping this. But if it's like $5 or $6, I roll it over.
Sure.
But I have our business cards out there. When he and I play, the podcast business cards are there. My booking company, which is really useless.
Den Mother?
Yeah. Great graphics. I don't use it for anything. I don't use that. I use that to do my solo gigs. I use that Facebook page. I don't have a separate musicians page.
I got you.
Like, I don't actively go book stuff because I don't need to. It's either me or the band's already booked.
Right.
Yeah.
So but I have nice cards made. I'll have to give them out. But I have that at every show. At the Ghostlight shows, we don't talk about the tip jar. Those guys fought with me about having. We don't do that. Till we started playing beach gigs.
Oh,
and people were like, there were people getting angry, like, where is your tip jar? I'm like, guys, I'm putting one out. Then I started putting the stickers on it. Then I started taking it. Now it sits in front of me on stage on a table, and people throw stuff in or they don't. But when I play solo, I don't really talk about it. And I guess I should, especially a place where you're playing for $150 for a couple hours.
Yeah. I don't think I mentioned my tip jar at all, ever. And I did at the beginning. Right. And
well, I've seen guys do it, but I
think that it's just it's a little icky.
Now when I play,
I never mentioned mine.
They're few and far between. But when I play with Dave Z, he does bring it up, but he'll bring it up when someone's like, like Lauren plays Spice Girls. He's like, that's a $20 song.
Yeah.
And then he immediately says, when someone walks up with a bill, he's like, just so you know, you just paid for a verse and a chorus. If we can do any more than that, it'll cost you more. He actively goes after it, but he does it in an interactive way.
Right.
I feel like I'm being a shill. Like, I've always felt like the bar's paying me, and some places don't. I don't ask enough because I still have almost the imposter syndrome.
I got you.
I'm not doing this for a living. I'm doing this because I want to pick up these gigs and have a good time. So sure, I'll take that price.
Right.
And then I remember there's other guys that are getting that price because I'm not asking for more. But I also feel like there are guys that are like, I took that $100 gig. Matt, for instance.
Yeah.
I took this gig because I ended up booking 7 parties over the summer, but also they fill my tip jar.
Right.
And I get some beers and I have a good time or whatever. That's fine for me too, but I'm also not in the position you are, he is, where this is my job.
Right.
But I don't want to be, and I know it comes back to what you're saying about trying to get like everybody on equal footing with booking and, a certain scale of things. There's independent guys out there like me who are like, well, I know that guy comes in for $350, but I'll do it for $100.
Right.
I don't actively go do that.
No.
But after I book that gig, I think I'm like, well, if I'm agreeing to that, they're never changing their prices for anybody.
Right.
I'm part of the problem without.
You are part of the problem.
While I'm trying to be just having a good time with it.
And that's okay. And certain venues that pay $150 to you or $100 to you or whatever they do. They're not going to pay somebody else more than that, most likely, and they're going to get whoever will play for that.
Well, that's the thing,
and it doesn't matter like if they're good or bad, I wonder.
Between. And that's, again, I'm not ever tooting my own horn or anything, but I think I'm at a certain level compared to somebody who's just getting started or doesn't do it much.
Yeah.
But
you have different motives for doing it.
But I wonder if I'm putting myself in I don't want to say a lower class. That's a very rude thing to say because we're all just different people. But you're right. There's different levels of artistry, of musicianship.
Right.
And I often wonder when I call a place or I like reach out, like maybe I should try and play a solo gig there. If they're looking at where I'm playing, going, well, he's clearly not this guy.
Sometimes, because I've had a booker say that to me before. I had a booker tell me it was Barbecue Tavern Derrick Henry and I were both playing there. It was over in Middlesex. We were playing there because they were paying us a ton of money. But it was a dive bar.
I remember you talking about this place.
Like a trucker fucker kind of place. Like it was in between two truck stops. It was not good, right? And but we were playing there, and I remember one of the bookers was like, "Barbecue Tavern, huh?" And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what would take you in there? And I was like,
oh,
a lot of money. And he's like, okay, I understand. He's like, I mean, some places, man, they look at where you're at, and they're just like, he's not for here.
Right.
Like even before
before looking at what
them,
you do,
you got it.
They know, they have a preconceived notion of your schedule.
Yeah.
And I've wondered about that. And again, because I'm not doing it, my goals are different than someone who's doing it for a living.
Right.
Sure, I would love to just play music.
Sure.
And you know better than most people in my entire circles how scary that is to make that jump.
Horrifying.
Yeah. I think I put myself, sadly, financially, or where I am in my world. I don't think I could.
Is it too uncertain, you think?
I don't think I'm a good enough planner to just go into it. I don't have. I would assume that anybody who does it that comes out of like quote unquote the normal life.
Sure.
Like yourself, you came out of doing welding and doing landscape. What I mean? I don't have any kind of cushion to fall back on if something goes wrong. I would have to go back to work.
I was about to say your job wouldn't take you back.
Oh, well, my job couldn't function without me, and I'm saying that for the internet to hear. My boss knows, the owner knows that my business would have trouble functioning if something happened to me or I just haven't walked out.
Well, there you go. Then you have nothing to worry about.
But I don't
just walk out and try it.
But my schedule now of playing, even like Ghost Light, we play. We did. Again, my last year, last year and this year, I was all but 100 shows last year between all my projects, and same this year. And that's for a guy who goes to work 45, 50 hours a week.
Shows for that.
That's the thing. I don't think I could go even play every weekend and then pick up a Thursday and still try and go to work even 3 days a week. I don't know that I could physically. I'm not the young man I once was.
Right.
Not that I'm like older and dirt or anything, but I unfortunately came into it late enough that I think it would be a little weird. Not weird. That's the wrong word.
They'd be like, "What'd you get? Early retirement?"
Well, I mean, I am now. Thanks to Jake coming in, now I'm not basically the only unretired person in my band. So.
Oh, that's good.
I did get a question about that last week. I'll tell you about that. The gentleman asked me, he goes, "So, you two young guys, well, how'd you hook up with these three old dudes?" I'm like, first of all, the guy on my left's only about 4 years older than me.
So thank you.
I said, and this guy brought the median age down to about 30.
That's
hilarious. 35. Well, probably 40. But I've got two guys that are retired. I mean, Rich retired early. He retired at 53. He worked his ass off to retire early. And then he builds guitars and probably makes more building guitars than he did at his job. And the band. My drummer just retired this year, but he's 60.
I don't know.
I think where's his birthday? I think he just turned 65. My bass player, Andy's 68.
Is he?
He's still working because he has a family business, but he's on his way. He's got about a year left before he's out. So I've got guys that are basically retired.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, how do you hook up with that? I think you just do. And you know what? I never saw myself playing with guys who were literally old enough to be my parents.
Yeah.
Or vice,
Yeah.
or having someone in the band's old enough to be my kid. But
3 generations playing together there.
But it works so well.
Does.
It works well for what we're doing. It puts us at a level that I was not in any of my other projects.
Yeah.
There's a type of music and a style and a type of people that come out. I've seen more dancers from the first note of people who are old enough to be my mother in the 3 years I've been in that band than I ever saw, 20 years prior to that.
Wow.
Like, people get up for this music and these people and this band every show. When we think we're going to we thought we were going to have a washout the other night, and we actually closed up an hour early. The bar's like, yeah, if you guys want to pack up, it's drizzling. Because last year, 2 years ago, we had hit so hard a flash storm till I got everything off the front of the stage. My tip jar had 4 inches of water in it. Ooh. It was that fast. And so I think I kept saying the place cursed. The power went out twice. The whole place went black. Generator came back on. We kept playing. Like, they told us to pack up if we wanted to. By the time we were done packing up, there was no drizzle anymore. We could have played our last set, but they were cool that we, they're like, yeah, it's fine. We don't care. It's one of them 4-hour gigs. We already gave them. We already gave them basically 2 full hours of music.
Yeah.
We also get people that do cartwheels. That was fun.
Oh, that's a separate story. But that was a Fiorentino's. But same thing. We thought we were going to wash out. We thought it wouldn't be busy because they were calling for a good chance of storms. We get there, every table's packed with people. And it's the kind of place, it's an outdoor eating stuff. They got a marina to our back.
Oh, yeah.
And we started playing, and it was a decent crowd. And let me tell you, this is my new favorite story.
Oh.
we play Tennessee Whiskey every show. We do that and Ed Sheeran stuff because there's older couples that like to dance. We get the high school dance thing. It's just something we do like once a set. I have that in like early on, like 5th, 6th song in the first set. I like to get it out of the way so we can start getting upbeat. We started playing it, and there was a table that started screaming like in joy.
Just the first 3 notes.
And then, and they started coming. It just filled the whole dance area up with people slow dancing. And I looked at him on the mic. I said, "Does Chris Stapleton just walk up behind me?"
Both looking at each other like,
I've been singing that song for 3 years straight every weekend, and I've never had anyone react like that before.
Wow.
And then it's one of those things that dawned on me, like, people are really enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to have. And I think if more people could get those experiences of having that fun, that good time.
Oh, yeah.
And if it takes someone getting them in that door.
Right.
If they have someone to listen to, some advice to take. I went the hard way. I went from the hard way up. And my guys have been playing together 30 years off and on because they've known each other since they were kids. Like, we all went a different path. There wasn't the path you're offering to people with this.
Right.
I keep finding side stories that come back to what you're doing.
Yeah. No,
and
you're good.
I can imagine what somebody like Jake would have done if he didn't have me to bring him into the fold of old men. That again, phrasing. But if he had somebody when he was starting that first gig and taking the keyboard out and stuff, if he had somebody like you or what you're trying to do, saying, "Hey, you know what, man?" But you didn't.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody. You didn't know anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, hey, just ditch the keyboard for a little bit and do guitar. Do one or the other.
Yeah.
Hey, piano man.
The people,
like, listen, Billy Joel. Sir, we only play 90s, Joel.
Strictly 90s Billy Joel. Yeah.
Like that was, and again, that wasn't a thing 8 years ago.
Right.
It wasn't a thing 20 years ago. But if it can be a thing now, where it doesn't come off as condescending or, I know more than you, listen to what I have to say.
I definitely don't.
You are not a condescending person.
Dude, people that don't know me, I think I'm a dick sometimes, and I'm not. I don't do.
I've not once got that impression.
I don't do dickish stuff.
Not talking to you, not listening to your stories, not seeing you play. I've never one time got that impression.
Yeah.
And again, we've talked about this. I met you long before you were doing this.
Right.
You came off as one of the nicest people. You're one of the Tubby's people.
Yes.
And the Asadius crew. Like that's where we met on a bus going to the auto bar. Like, that can be a weird thing when you get on a bus with a bunch of people you don't know except the band.
Oh yeah, we had a blast though. Holy shit,
a fucking great time.
Yeah.
I wish there were still bus trips. I wish they were affordable.
Oh my god, yeah.
But like you never once, and that's going on probably 8 years now. I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, not one time did you ever give me that impression. So the fact that people think that is their hang up, not yours. Or not.
I appreciate that, man. I just try to do the right thing, and like what I'm doing right now, and I really don't think that I know everything I need to know right now to make this work. But I think that I'm figuring all of these things out as I go along. I'm going to apply what I know works for me to what I think will work for other people.
Well, and I'm sure that has some adjustment. There's always going to be some things that you have to move around.
Yep.
Now you got a grant for this, yeah?
Yeah. I got
Which is super.
I got a grant from the government. They really liked my idea, and I sent them the contract of one of the local music agencies as part of my presentation.
As to why it needs to be changed?
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, you get the grant. And
that was someone else's bad choices made yours obviously a
way
good choice.
Easier.
Yep.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, I mean, this seems predatory. And I'm like, it is. And they're like, so you're saying that there's like these things out there that you can't get into a venue unless you go through this person, and that person takes advantage of the musicians? I'm like,
yep.
That's a normal occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what most people think is a booking business.
You got it.
I think most musicians think that's what a booking company does.
And that's what I'm trying to do is change how it's done. We have all musicians are on the board. We all know what it's like to be there. We're all gigging people. So it's like with us having that insight, you know, we're not going to do anything that's in anybody's interest except for the artist's interest. And then we'll just collect our minimal fee. Right. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think that's a huge factor of this too, that I don't know if everybody's appreciates like hearing it said, but you taking, you know, that minimal, that smaller, whatever you want to call it. I guess minimal is the right word. You not trying to gouge someone for your services and giving them as much as you're offering.
And not attaching their merch or any kind of
huge. Like telling them, not saying page 14, I own your songs now.
You got it.
God, that I don't even write songs, and that drives me insane. Like I can't imagine as much. You write a song every week, Jake. Like you put out a new song every other week. Like, hey, I wrote this last night. I'm like, the fuck? I haven't written a song in 20 years.
That's crazy.
And to have that you would be on a contract that you want to go play covers somewhere and like, oh, by the way, on this last page, anything you write from here on out, we own.
Yeah.
That's essentially what that said, yeah?
Yeah, it said it was property of their company. Anything that you create, represent, or produce while you're under their management.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what?
I'm
going to need you to go ahead and take that out. And they're like, we don't enforce it. I'm like, well, then take it out.
I don't care.
They're
take
like,
it out.
we're not going to do that. I'm like, then you enforce it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other reason.
You're enforcing it right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's already pre-enforced.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I do not consent.
Along with a lot of the other things that they write into those contracts.
Yeah.
And again, I haven't seen one in many years, but
I've seen quite a few, man.
That just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. The thought of them thinking that they can get someone, that they can prey on someone like that. That
Absolutely.
they can go in and say they'll sign it. They want to play this club. They want to be musicians.
Especially
so
somebody new in the scene,
that
right?
doesn't understand what they're signing.
They don't understand what they're signing, and also they do need that booking agent to get into that bar. Yep. They need it. They don't have a choice because then nobody knows who they are. Nobody, you know what I mean? They don't have the presence.
They're not allowed to speak to the bar without that booking
You got
agent.
it.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to do is push those dinosaur predatory agencies out of these bars. I'll go in there. I'll take care of. I'll do it the professional way. I'll treat the musicians with all the respect that they deserve for the hard craft that we do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and they'll know that I'm taking care of them. The artist is going to know that the venue is like somebody that supports, the equitable treatment of musicians or whatever. Like it's just going to be a good thing for everybody, I think. And I'm so excited, dude, because I have such good artists that have come on board.
I would say not to cut you. I don't.
No, you're good, man.
I don't believe that you would have somebody that you didn't believe in.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
I can't.
You're not just looking for whatever's there. You're taking in people who are contacting you,
and they're ready. They're ready. You know, there's a big difference between people who perform and people who are like, full-time gigging musicians.
Yep.
There's a big difference between the two, and it's not saying that one's better than the other. I see people that play, like I just talked about in that story earlier. Steph was the best vocalist I've heard this year, and I play every weekend, and I go see other people play all the time, and she doesn't do it for a living.
Right.
And I don't understand.
I know people like that. Some of the best voices I've ever heard just don't sing because they're like, oh, I did that when I was in my 20s.
Right.
I have other things to do now. I'm like,
I grew up. I had kids.
Why weren't you doing that?
Yes.
Like
you're so good.
In fact, the vocalist I replaced in Ghostlight, her husband was the singer, guitar player. Then he brought her in. Misty has the best voice I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
Hands down, professional in on TV, live, anywhere. I've never heard anybody sing like her. And she just stopped doing it because she had, they moved because she got a job, and they're doing stuff again now in Texas, which is awesome. But she should have been like a professional singer.
You think it gets too? I don't know about you personally, but I sometimes it gets a bit much. Being a full-time musician and doing all the things that we have to do, and knowing that like our livelihood depends on being able to go out and play the same songs for the most part every single night for the rest of our lives.
I will one up that, something that you don't have any experience in. Take that feeling of that stress that can cause. Now apply that to, if you don't do your job, 3 or 4 other guys are in trouble.
Right.
Because the singer is paramount to a band.
Absolutely.
You know, don't get me wrong, the drummer's making mistakes, we're all in trouble.
Right.
But for the most part, that's correctable. Yeah. But if the singer's not doing his job, everyone notices.
Yes. Yeah.
You are now not only responsible for what you're doing, but what you're doing is very much tied to the success of other people.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
So, I mean, I don't know how there's guys that like literally do that for a living
forever.
Like
yeah.
I always said the reason I picked up guitar at all wasn't because I wanted to play in a band. It was because I wanted to be the coffee house guy one day. One day I'm going to be too old to be jumping around here on stage and screaming at people on a microphone, which apparently is getting closer and closer because I don't scream at anybody anymore. But I wanted to be able to still perform. And my whole thought, that was part of the thought when I started my own booking, was not just to help me get my own gigs, was maybe I can start helping other people because one day I'm not going to be able to perform anymore. At least I can keep my foot in the music.
Sure.
And that's obviously morphed over the years. But I didn't used to think about what it would be for my just being alone, because I gave no thought other than that far away. I'll be the old man in the corner drinking a Budweiser or something that I don't even drink. You know, just sitting there playing some song in the background, some song that was current for me when I was young that no one knows anymore. But now that I've done those shows, I can see the difference. There is a completely different level. I don't want to say stress, but I guess that's really what it is. Of responsibility.
It's a lot on your shoulders whenever
to have other people, you know, and I don't know that the other guys in the band think about it that way. I don't know how Jake thinks about it when essentially he's doing, when we play duos, we're sharing the responsibility.
Yeah.
It's not just me singing, he has a song or two. We split. Same thing we do with Dave Z. We literally go every other song. We all just do songs.
That's perfect.
It's great. Good time.
I love it.
Ghostlight is going to be, I mean, you only have a couple, a handful of songs a set now, but I wouldn't care if it got to us doing 50-50 all night because he can lead. I can lead.
That's awesome.
But I don't know if you've ever considered that. You've been a front man in a couple bands. I mean, but maybe at your, I hate to keep bringing up his age. Maybe at your age, you don't think about, maybe you're not stressed out about it yet.
Nah.
I mean.
I don't stress over it because if you need me as a guitarist, I can do that. If you need me as a front man, of course I'd like to be front and center. Whatever
LSD, lead singer syndrome.
It's one of those whatever you need me for, I can do. That it doesn't bother me. If you
that is beautiful confidence, Jake.
I've been
to be young.
I've been a drummer. I'll sit behind a kit and just be a drummer. Don't need to be seen. I just like to play.
That's the other thing too. You're an all-around musician. I can't sit behind a kit anymore. I mean, I could probably dick my way through it, but I mean, it's been fucking 35 years since I actually played drums. Like I can pick my way on a bass if I had to, if I knew what I was supposed to be playing. Yeah. Like I'm not just an all-around musician, and you are. And I think that's also something I've noticed a lot of the musicians in this area in your age range, like that mid-20s, early 30s.
Multiverse.
Ed's a good example of that too. Ed Allison can play anything. Because you guys grew up like, well, I can play this, let me try that.
Right.
Like I didn't have that outlet. I wasn't like, well, I've mastered the guitar now, let me move on to the xylophone or whatever. Like that wasn't something we did as kids. Like I guess I didn't have a musical household either, or music wasn't some people it's an escape. I found music much later, but it's still there's a confidence in what he's saying that he doesn't. I don't think he can realize he's saying it. Like I don't. Well,
it's because he's confident in his abilities to be able to perform at both. And
I guess that's really what it is.
And we're over here like I'm over here as a full-time musician going, I suck. I think I'm terrible at everything I do.
Again, as we talked about way back at the beginning of this 7-hour podcast. If we think we're the greatest, we're not.
Exactly.
As soon as your ego
gets growing.
When your ego gets in front of your talent, and God, I'm back to where I'm not saying any names. There's just that one guy. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I've publicly said what I thought about said gentleman. I'm not going to say it here on the air before it to live on the internet. But
fight.
No. I'm pretty sure if we
Just
discuss
say
this
Jake.
off
Just
air,
say Jake.
if we discuss it off air, I'm pretty sure you'll go, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. So you will definitely, Dave, get it. And Jake's probably heard stories. But anyway, we're not here for that. We're not here. I'm not. What's the phrase? I'm not here to knock someone down to lift something up, pick someone else up.
I don't want the smoke.
Yeah, I don't want the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jake and I have been quoting Deadpool for 2 weeks, nonstop. Yeah, I hope I keep floating around. We keep dancing around about Tenor Artist, but
I
hope this is everything you want it to be. I need it to be for completely selfish but not self-serving reasons. Like, I want you to succeed with this because, one, I want you to succeed. I think you're the kind of person that deserves to succeed, and you put the work in to succeed. You're not working off someone else's back, or you weren't. You're not a nepo baby. You didn't get handed your career,
No.
But you're doing something that's going to help everyone else. It's going to help me without me being a part of. You know what I mean? Like it can only help the scene.
Yeah, I'm not going to hurt anything, even if it fails. And that's what I said to Steph whenever I was. I mean, I got a grant to start this thing.
When you were pitching the idea to your boss?
I was like, even if this thing fails, you know what I do? I go back to being a musician, and I go back to whatever I was doing before. But if I don't try it, and I feel like we definitely should, if I didn't try it, I'd be very angry at myself. To be in the position to help people and not help people would be a very selfish thing for me to do.
Well, there's the Wayne Gretzky quote: "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'll throw in a good sports analogy there, but sports quote. But I mean, it's the truth. It's a well-known quote for a reason. It's very true when it comes down to it. If you think you have a chance to do something you don't, all you'll do is regret it.
Yeah.
I think goes to even to me playing my first solo show, terrified to stand on the Riverside patio down there for 2 hours on a Wednesday night going, hey, everybody, I never did this alone before. Here we go. And that was terrifying, but it was exhilarating. But if I didn't do it, I talked forever how I was going to do solo gigs. I'm going to do this, and I did it. And it took a year to start doing them on a regular basis, but you
planted the seed.
If I hadn't done that show, I don't know that I'd be even doing the ones I'm doing.
Right.
Doing duo gigs is one thing, but being up there alone was a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to more or less force myself mentally to go do that.
Yeah.
It might not be great, but we're going to go do it. We're going to get through it. And I did. And I would probably regret that if I hadn't tried it.
Absolutely.
And
you never know what it's going to do. You never know how it's going to fulfill you or help somebody else. And
this might go back to your obsessive nature too. But
Probably.
as you spoke, but I mean, you seem very passionate about making this work.
Yeah.
You seem passionate about taking the knowledge you learned on your own to book yourself and become a full-time musician and work that out and passing that knowledge on. And that goes back to that old school thinking of, well, that's our thing. I can't tell you those secrets.
Oh, right.
That can't be the way anymore.
Why not, guys, when there's people on YouTube telling you exactly how to do everything, why should we they're allowed to tell people.
Yeah.
Right? Or somebody can pay for a course.
Right.
To find out how to do it, but we're not allowed to get out there and be like, hey, whenever you email a venue, here's how you should structure your email.
Here's some free advice, or whatever. Here's a bit of advice that I learned. Here's something I learned I want to tell you.
You got it.
Now, two things I didn't want to forget to talk about. One, you mentioned just on your podcast this week. By the way, he is the I almost said the front man. That's the wrong thing. He is the host and said owner of the Solo Musician podcast. If you guys have not heard Jake or I talk about it every episode we record, Dave's very prolific. He does an episode a week plus a mini Thursday Thoughts episode every week. You are a machine. We're lucky if we can get one episode a month because of our timing. But I've learned a ton of shit from that. But you mentioned this week that you are going to start having advertising.
Yeah. So there's an advertising. There's a lady that reached out to me that does a podcast, and it's called the Profitable Musician Podcast.
Look it up, folks.
I'm going to recommend that anybody that is in the scene, seasoned vet, or somebody just new, should check out that podcast because it has all of the gold that you need. After I listened to her podcast for a couple episodes, and this isn't even an ad. This is just honest to God.
This is your opinion. Yes.
Yeah. I listened to her couple episodes, and I learned things that I didn't know. And I also thought, I'm never going to speak about how to do something on my podcast again. I'm just going to refer people to her podcast because I can have musicians on my podcast and we'll talk about the gigs and behind the scenes and all the road stories.
What gear you're using and whatnot. Yes.
You got it. Gear talk, all that stuff. You want to know how to be profitable and you want to know how to, get out there and market yourself as a musician, or how to reach out to venues, or how to know what to charge, or how to set up your sound gear. She has all of the answers in her podcast.
Wow.
It's very well delivered. It's by people who, have doctorates or they have so much industry experience. Like this is like a free college course in how to be a solo musician.
Wow,
it's unreal.
That's impressive. And it's, of course, something I'm going to start listening to tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm caught up on your episodes. I need something I need something to listen to.
But
I listened to Solo Musician and Conan O'Brien this week. I'm going to have to move on to something else.
But I've been working on advertising. So she reached out, and we're going to do like a swap for ads. And then I'm getting some local music shops. They're going to start advertising with me. A little bit of... talk about their gear and anything that they have in the shop that's on special that they want to get rid of or get out the door.
Now, is that something you're going to read copy for, or
Yep.
they're going to send you stuff?
Yep. Yeah.
You're going to use that radio station knowledge you got for a couple months?
Yeah. Well, I have a stipulation with my advertising. They can't, if I have to read their copy 100%, I'm really not into it.
So they got to give you a little.
Yeah.
They got to give you some bullet points, and you're gonna do it.
Yeah, I want to believe in what I'm saying. I don't want to just read what they're putting. I want to share a personal experience from because everybody that's reaching out that wants to. I've been in their music store. I've done, I've been to their venue. I've been to whatever it is.
So you have a personal stake, or like you said, a story in.
I'll share a story about, hey, I was at this venue playing and there was a bum fight outside and one guy got stabbed and lost an eye.
But while I was there, I had
the
best martini I've ever had. Yeah, no, that's an ad that would catch my eye, no pun intended.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They have the best burger you could ever eat.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way I was curious when I heard you say that. That's the way I think ads would need to be. I think podcast ads need to be that way. I'm often taken out when, and thankfully I listen to all my stuff through Spotify, and thankfully I can skip ahead 15 seconds.
Yes.
So when they start running a pre-recorded ad, I'm just beep, 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 I'll get back to the podcast. 4
times.
I do enjoy some of them, and again, like I said, I listen to Conan O'Brien's podcast.
Yeah.
Their ads are all him reading copy, and he probably has the same thing like. Well, I'm Conan O'Brien. I'm going to read this however I want.
I have to.
He almost sometimes makes derogatory jokes about the product in the ad, but
they
don't care because they figure there are thousands of people hearing that ad.
Any press, and if you remember, you'd be like, oh my God, do you remember? One of my favorites is Bill Burr. Bill Burr has a podcast. He drops it twice a week. He actually inspired the format of my podcast.
Gotcha.
Because he drops an episode every Monday and every Thursday. So he has 2 episodes a week, every week for forever. He's been doing it for literally for 15 years or so. And he reads ads, and one of his ads is for ZipRecruiter.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, look who it is again, guys. It's old ZipRecruiter. Every single time, right? And it makes me laugh every time I hear him do it. He always reads it all weird. And he's like, if you're looking for felons to come staff your kitchen, and he's just...
And that's
everything he says is hilarious.
That makes people stop and listen to it.
Yes.
And I was wondering if that's how you're going to do it, because I have said to you, I believe, before that you have the perfect voice for radio.
No, yeah, and then I tried radio, and then they tried paying me horse shit.
Well,
and then I gave up on my dream of radio.
But you have a way when listening to the podcast, you have a perfect voice for explaining things to people, and I think you also have, that makes you perfectly suited for ad copy, even if it's ad-libbed, so to speak.
Sure. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I've thought he and I have talked about that. If we ever get more than 10 viewers a month, about should we because you can set up for that on some of those. They'll find advertisers, and I could probably do one for work, but I would pre-record that.
Right.
And then I thought, well, somebody's just going to skip it. It'd be
it's
nice
possible.
to have.
You got to make something funny.
It'd be fine to have something pre-recorded for my job as a business thing, but we don't. Where else are we going to put it on my podcast? And nowhere. Not like we're going to put it on the radio, or we don't do that.
Right.
We don't need that. It sounds bad, but that business doesn't need that advertising.
No,
our
customers come to it.
It's beer. Customers buy beer. They don't need us to advertise. But I often think, is a podcast more professional because they have ads? I don't know if it's that, or if that just means you're reaching more viewers or more listeners, and someone wants to put.
You know what it is? I think that a podcast can become. Whenever I hear somebody that has ads, I think that they're self-sustainable, that they're able to pay their podcast hosting fee for the year off of the ads that they sell. So maybe if they're not even making any money, they're not losing money. Like right now, I lose money on the podcast each week. I pay for the hosting on the website. I pay for the different accounts that I post it to. So it's the website, like all of these things. And so.
Now, you have a website for the Solo Musician Podcast?
No, not
yet. Is it all just through your Dave Gates?
It's still through Dave Gates because I was like, either I pay for a whole nother website or I
just have
make
another
it a tab.
Yeah. No, that makes more sense. That would be.
So I took off my tour tab, I think, and put that on and I think my thing still says tour dates, but I think that I should stop calling it a tour because I don't really leave home too often. I'm gone for like 3 days.
Yeah, I've always liked that when you go to a venue, it says events. I like that an events tab over a live entertainment tab because it's not always live. Well, I guess technically anybody entertaining you is live. It doesn't have to be music, but
dead entertainment would be fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if they're having a beer pong tournament, it's still live people entertaining somehow. You know what I mean? But yeah, touring is a weird word.
I've had tour dates up for forever, and I just recently went, I sound like a douche. Like I don't have a tour.
I'm going on the Great Carlisle tour this week.
Yeah. Like I'm not a. I mean, I guess you could. I'm not a touring. I'm a traveling musician.
Traveling musician. There
we go.
Sense.
Maybe I'll just put my travel dates.
Travel dates. Like, is he flying somewhere? These are the dates I'm off for business. I mean, I think our old website, Fell From Zero's website's still up. I don't know the last time I logged into it. I don't even know who's paying for hosting that anymore.
Oh, no. It's legacy. It's
I
just
guess.
there forever.
Well, the ChineseStore.com a while back, we couldn't get it back.
Oh.
Because I didn't get a notification that it was up. I went a day later and it was gone. You type in fellfromzero.com, it's some like Chinese or Japanese website. So we had to get .net, and the guy that helped me, actually, it's probably Ray. He's probably been hosting that all this time because I checked recently. It's still up. It's just not up to date.
Wow.
We don't play enough. I don't think about it. But our thing, I'm pretty sure ours says show dates.
Yeah.
Or shows.
That
I don't
feels
think it
better.
says tour. I think it says shows.
That feels
I think that's
better.
what I always used to use. But, I mean, I guess it's
I know it's just semantics, but.
And probably no one noticed. But if you noticed, that's all that matters.
I noticed. I did.
Yep. Well, I'm going to notice now. Anytime anybody has the word tour, I'm like,
who is this?
Where are you touring?
Where are you touring?
I'll start typing.
Are you going? How long have you been away from home?
Yeah. What is your address?
Yeah.
What is your security code? I want to check on your cat.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I got totally lost there about we were in the ads, but there was a second thing I was going to ask you about. Tenor, besides the ads. No, I think it was. We probably covered it in this. Now nearly 2.5 hours.
I'm gonna have.
This is rolling. This is record breaking.
I'm gonna have to boogie soon.
Yeah, no, I think. I think we probably ought to wrap it up here. I think I've covered the things I want to talk to you about. We've covered 100 other things that I knew was going to happen because we just sit and talk. Jake, as always, whenever we've had a guest on this podcast, says nothing. It's the easiest editing I do. His channel is dead for 3/4 of the show. I got to start bringing people in that you know that I don't, so you can talk more.
You know what? If I can make a suggestion,
yes, please.
You guys need to be sitting together across from the guest.
Oh,
because here's the problem. Every time I look at him, I've got to turn my head. So with him being to my left and you being straight ahead, this is a more natural position for this big head of mine. Is just straight, right?
We need a round table.
We need a table.
You do. Because if you guys were both there, I'd be eyeballing both of you the whole time.
Oh, see? This is why we don't video in here.
Yeah.
Every time we do, I'm like, I don't like it.
Well, last time we did a video, there's like a 2-minute segment of me fucking with my hat because I couldn't get my hat on my head right.
Yeah, we.
You mean entertaining
and then I'm
content.
fixing my hair,
Yeah.
then I slammed it down.
Well, you
over
forget
here.
the camera's there sometimes, which is, I guess, you're supposed to.
Oh yeah.
But you
fourth
also
wall.
forget the camera's there, and you fuck with your hat for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think we got the points across. What do you got? What do you want to promote? You got websites and stuff people need to go check out?
Websites. DaveGates.org is my solo musician website. Tenor Artists.
Plural.
I don't know how that's hard to say. Yeah.
Artistes.
I should have named it something else. TenorArtist.com is the website for Tenor Artist Management. Tenor Artist Management on Facebook. Dave Gates Music on Facebook. D Gates for Life on Instagram. I think that's probably close to everything. Just check out everything and YouTube channel, Dave Gates Music on YouTube as well.
Excellent.
That's all of them.
Yeah.
And where are you playing coming up?
Well, I was going to bring it up.
Coming out.
You got some beach gigs coming up, but this won't air before you're
That's
there.
okay. All right. So I'm playing at the beach prior to this.
I would say where are you playing like Labor Day weekend and on?
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend. All right. I'm all over the place. I'm in York.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm going to be playing over at Avenue Ale House.
Tell me it's on a Thursday.
It's on Thursday.
Next Thursday.
We
have a show.
We do have a show next Thursday.
I was like, I'm leaving Friday for the campsite for the weekend, but Thursday we have a gig.
Yep. Yeah. Thursday I'm going to be at Avenue Ale House in York, 7 to 10. Friday I'll be at Lebanon Valley Brewing Company out in Lebanon, 5:30 to 8:30, and Saturday I'll be in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, at Cedar Ridge, 1 to 4 p.m.
And so you're actually taking the actual holiday off? No one's asked you to play Sunday or Monday for Labor Day?
Yeah, they asked.
Oh, you just said no. I'm already played enough this weekend.
You know what it is, man? Is a long time ago I was just like, gigs on holiday weekends, I ask a certain amount. And if nobody comes in at that amount, and it's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot because I'd rather hang out with my family for a while than somebody else's family that I don't know. And then it's nothing against everybody that wants to hire me, but I'd just rather see my people.
Well, you got to take some time.
Yeah.
Once you load up the camper, come down to Craft Haven that Sunday and watch Ghostlight play at the campground.
Perfect.
You guys you can set up right outside ours.
I love that.
Yeah, we're busy that weekend too.
Hold on, I got it.
I
got it.
We have Sickman's Mill on Thursday. We have the Naughty Goose in Northeast Maryland on Friday. Or Saturday, I'm sorry. And then we have Craft Haven on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's an advantage to knowing the guy who books the bands there. It's me. When we started about 2 summers ago booking the holiday weekends.
Yeah.
I realized 2 years ago now that Ghostlight was taking Labor Day, and that was our thing.
That's awesome.
And it may be the most fun show we've played since I've been in the band and since. There's a vibe at that place.
Oh my God, yeah.
Unfortunately, you didn't get to see as much in your 2 times down there because it wasn't the same scale.
Yeah.
But, man, and you had to, of course, bug out too to get to other gigs. I think.
Stupid.
But you get bands down there. It's something else. So I'll take. That's the last big holiday of the summer. Everybody stays till Monday, so we do them Sunday nights.
We're
not affecting anybody's Friday or Saturday, and yeah, we'll have ourselves a rocking good time.
That'll be fun.
Yep. I hope so.
Like you guys really sold it there. We'll have ourselves a rocking good time.
Hey, we're gonna have a good old time.
And Jake's like, it'll be fun.
I don't know. That's one of the few shows I can't get shitty at. Actually, I don't drink really. I have a drink or two. I know that's a talk you've had too, but
yeah,
I have maybe at max 3 beers total all night when I play anymore.
I think that's
even
good.
when I'm playing acoustic, if I have that many, I don't. Maybe a beer a set basically. If I finish them, I don't. I should be able to get away with more at Craft Haven because I can stumble back to my camper and nobody's expecting me to be perfect.
Yeah, but you're
I
holding
wanna
yourself to that.
Yeah, I hold myself to a standard. That show, just because it's a fun show, or whatever you want to call it, almost a family, private gig kind of thing for the whole campground. It's the same standard we should give to every bar or club we play.
Doesn't make it any less important.
So
yeah,
we'll do it.
I love it.
All right, well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up so you can drive. You both can drive your time home, and I can go downstairs to my living room with no wife or dog around and watch TV. Who am I kidding? I will stay up all night probably editing this because no one's going to tell me to go to bed. But I don't think we got anything else. So if nothing's left, once again, I'm Bob.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Dave.
Hey, this has been Nailed It, the podcast. We'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Nailed it.
Our tens of followers love our engaging content.